other things too.
To go back to that FTC thing a second, what was it that they were concerned about? Was it just Strikeforce purchase, or was it the way you were interacting with fighters?
No,
they were asking?
No, none of that. It was over the. I think what they were doing was, you know what? I don't even want to. Who cares? I don't give a shit.
It's over.
I don't care what it was exactly.
Can you talk a little, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Can you talk a little bit about the pros and cons about having fighters like Nick Diaz and Josh Koscheck under your umbrella?
Having guys like Nick Diaz and Koscheck?
Yeah, the love and the hate, the good things and the bad things that for you as a company.
I think there's different types of fighters for everybody, and there's all these different types of personalities. Koscheck is, you know how Koscheck comes off, but as far as fighting goes, man, Koscheck, nobody steps up like Koscheck does. I'm serious. If Lesnar fell out, he'd text me and say he'll fight, Alistar. I mean, this guy doesn't care. He'll move to 85. He'll go to 7. Wherever he can make the weight, he'll fight. I respect that about him.
You have a lot of guys like that, or is that a rarity?
And I respect Diaz too.
Yeah.
Diaz is the kind of kid who's like, he's pretty honest about it. I don't like all the bullshit, and I don't want to do all this and that, but I'll show up and fight. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. But yeah, I do. I respect it. I respect those guys. They're real fighters.
Is that a rarity?
Condit too.
Yeah.
Condit is one of these guys, and you'll see it on the next episode of Primetime too, where he's this kid who's, he's a very smart kid. He's a nice guy, not much to say. Right. He's there playing with his baby, and he's with his wife and his family, and then boom, the week of the event, he's like a completely different person. Completely changes. And his dad even kind of points that out. One of them says, as this thing winds down, we kind of stay away from him. We kind of back off, and completely changes who he is. And it's very interesting to see.
Why is the matchup so good?
Huh?
Why is the matchup so good?
Because they're both. That's the type of people they both are. Both these guys are real fighters. There's no doubt. I don't know how long this fight's going to go, but it's going to be a fight. Those two are going to go in, and they are going to fight for however long that fight lasts.
People were not giving Nick credit before, now he's finally the guy. And it seemed like Condit has so many varied strikes and everything that would match up well with Nick's game. Do you think now all of a sudden Condit's maybe flying a little under the radar?
He's definitely flying under the radar. I think that because of Nick's personality and all the stuff that happened that led us to this moment right here has kind of taken Nick to another level. And as far as the fans go, and this is the way this stuff works. Nick gets to here, nobody's talking about him, he wins, he comes up to here, and then people will talk about him, GSP. But if Diaz wins, holy shit. I mean, the Diaz GSP thing.
Where would you put that fight?
I don't know.
Yeah, Oakland, something like that.
Stockton.
What's the fascination? Why do you think people are fascinated with Diaz?
He's a fascinating guy. I'm fascinated by him. I've been in this business forever. I've been in this business forever. I've dealt with every guy you could possibly deal with, and this kid is fascinating. It's.
Why is it for you then?
Let me think. I don't know. I don't want to give you a Nick Diaz answer on this one. I want to give you something. You ask him questions, he knows the answer, but fuck you. I'm not going to tell you the answer. Figure the fucking answer out yourself. It's that kind of thing. Why do you have to love this so much to hate it? He knows the answer to that. And that's a fan going, fuck you. I'm not going to tell you the answer to that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't give a shit what you think, and I'm here to fight, and I don't care if you people like me or you hate me or whatever your deal is. I don't even want to talk to you. It's almost like he hates us. What the fuck do we do? You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. He's a fascinating human being.
It's like you're mirror image. You're describing yourself in a way.
What's that?
It's kind of describing yourself.
Me? Come on, I'm sitting here for 30 minutes talking to you guys. I'll talk to you guys. This kid, stuff like, he missed 3 flights on the way here. You're going to see all this stuff on the show. He missed 3 flights coming here. He missed 3 flights.
And you didn't get nervous?
No. The one thing that this kid does is he shows up for fights. And I think that, he's filmed this whole season, this whole, episode of Primetime. He's done the whole thing. Nick Diaz has done everything we have asked him to do. So if he misses a couple flights here and there, he does this and that, I can live with that stuff. I'm not going to flip out and go crazy over that. He showed up here today for the press conference. You know, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the press conference started out pretty good. As the press conference went longer and longer and longer, the answers got shorter and shorter and shorter. And a couple times I looked over at him and he was like rubbing his face and he was looking around and I was like, yeah, let's wrap this thing up.
Anytime we could possibly get Nick and Nate on the same card?
Yeah, I'm sure that could happen. You know, Nate Diaz is one of those kids that you know, he comes out and fights, but Nate does whatever Nate's supposed to do.
And any update on your war with the internet? That thing kind of slowed down to a fizzle after.
It's still on with me.
Yeah,
that's still on. There's you know.
You tweeted a smiley face, which usually Fedor lost. What was that about?
No, I do the smiley face whenever things go that, you know, that was the FTC thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any information about the TUF in Brazil? They are going to start shooting on Monday.
I leave Sunday. I'm
You going to Indy?
No, I'm going to watch the Patriots win here at my house, and then I'm going to fly to Rio on Sunday night. I start filming in Rio on Monday, and then I fly to Sao Paulo, and the next 2 days of shooting in Sao Paulo.
How long is that to be like there? You are going to do the same thing as here, like shooting everything, and after that put on air in Brazil?
Yeah.
How much, Dana, do you think Nate helps Nick and is kind of a crutch for him and helps him get through some of the stuff because Nate seems to not take it as personally as Nick does?
I think they both do. I think they both help each other out a lot. Again, all I know is what I've talked to Nate about, you know, because I have a pretty good relationship with him, and then what I've seen in primetime, you know. Believe me, I know as much or less than you guys do.
And what about you? Have Caesar communicated anything to you? Like, do you feel like...
I thought Caesar was great on the show. I mean, Caesar explains a lot of things well, and coming from a guy who's been with them since they were teenagers. But no, I mean, when stuff got crazy, it was like, I'll call Caesar, and Caesar's like, yeah, he jumped out the back window. I can't find him, and stuff like that, you know? So, I think Caesar's is, listen, I think it's pretty clear. It's fun to talk about, and the kid is fascinating. It's pretty clear. He wants to do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to be told to do this or that. He's his own guy and does his own thing, loves the fight, but hates it, you know? I get it. I do get him.
What happens when he's not fighting anymore if he keeps that attitude? People say that about Tyson.
I mean, he's been around for a long time. I mean, the kid, it's like Caesar said too. You know, when you talk about these kids, like, first of all, they have no criminal records. They're never in trouble. All the things that you might think about the Diaz brothers, you know, you're not getting the call that they're hanging out in the nightclub and got into an altercation. You know what I mean? You're not getting the call that they got in a street fight here or there or this or that happened. Nick Diaz, they said it in his spare time, he runs a triathlon, he does marathons, he does all this other stuff. He doesn't like doing this shit. He doesn't like to do this, but he likes to fight.
You don't either, huh?
Yeah. Nobody loves doing all the stuff that we have to do. It's the thing about the media and doing all the media that you do, it's repetitive. You're saying the same things over and over and over again. You're talking about the same things. And that's what starts to drive these guys crazy. And one of the hardest parts about this whole thing is talking to these guys and going, this is what we do. You have to talk to, you know? When all the people say, oh, Dana's the friggin' camera hog, he always wants to be in front of the, I'm taking the load that these guys don't want to do. These guys don't want to, you know? I'm the guy who goes out and talks about the fights every week and keeps on doing it.
Do you think that Nick is at a darker place than what GSP referenced, where GSP said on the show, you don't know the dark places I have in my mind? I mean, do you see the GSP akin to Nick at all in that fashion?
I don't know. Who knows? You know, GSP, I'm sure GSP does have some. I mean, he's too nice. Nobody's that nice. Come on. He's like the perfect guy. He's in great physical shape, always works hard, always says the right things, always dressed perfectly. Never hear him say a bad word to anybody. And now, for the first time in his career, he has come across a guy who he hates and who he wants to fight worse than anybody he's ever fought. I mean, if you watch, speaking of primetime, you watch the primetime of BJ Penn and George St. Pierre, BJ Penn terrorizes him the whole show, says all kinds of things to him. I think it was Matt Hughes was saying things to him on his season of The Ultimate Fighter. Koscheck, he's never acted like this. Has never happened. He's never been in a situation where I've seen him so angry and wanting to fight somebody so bad.
Can you talk about the Japan card? How's the sales going, and how is that in terms of positioning you guys to do more shows in Asia and expanding that Asian market?
I mean, as far as I know, everything's going well over there, and you know, you don't know how successful it's going to be until you go. So, I mean, when we pull that event off and we do it, we'll see how it goes. But it's very important. It's a very important show for our you know, intro into Asia, not just Japan, but China and all the other markets we want to go to over there.
Well, and certainly, I guess adding the lighter weight classes will help you there as well.
I think adding the lighter weight classes helps everywhere. It was time. The sport is now at a point where, you know, we need even more weight classes. We should have all the weight classes from top to bottom.
Yeah. Would you do a super heavyweight or a cruiserweight or anything?
None of the super stuff. No.
When is the cast for the Cruz Faber season going to be announced?
I don't know. It's done though.
Okay, so
Cast is done. Yeah, it's set. It's ready to go. Probably be media day or.
Did you make a decision on whether, you know, fans or media were going to be able to attend those fights?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to let fans attend the fights, but I might do the media.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Talking about Sao Paulo, is Sonnen and Silva, is that set? Is it actually signed on paper yet?
No.
You haven't been able to alleviate Sonnen's concerns yet?
No, but I will guarantee you that fight's going to happen, unless one of them gets hurt. That fight will happen. Huh?
Anderson's health.
Anderson's?
Health.
Yeah. Anderson's coming in here to meet with me on Friday.